Hi, this is Dr. Rosalind Lewis Tompkins, and I'm the author of As Long as There's Breath in Your Body, There Is Still Hope. And you are listening to Your Beautiful Day on the Gratitude Radio Network.
Chiarenza, and I'm on with Neil Haley and Jen Mogg with the Gratitude Radio Network. I'm so excited you guys are all here today. And I'm excited to do this introduction because this is all about what I love. And it goes right in along the lines with my Women's Successful Living and Self-Care. And today we have Dr. Rosalind Tompkins on with us. And we're talking about April being the National Month of Hope. And she is the hopeologist. She's going to help us discuss ways to promote hope and positivity, especially coming through COVID. I'm sure she's been working a lot on that with all the different places she's been speaking. But she wants to encourage you guys today as you're listening and watching to become citizens of hope through her Make a Difference Monday campaign. And that's by spreading positivity to everyone who needs it within the power of social media. She's the founder of National Month of Hope, as well as the founder and president of Mothers in Crisis. Dr. Rosalind Tompkins launched the Hope Challenge this year, where the goal is to see 10,000 Hope Connections take place. So I want to welcome Dr. Rosalind Tompkins to the show.
Hey, how are you, Dr. Rosalind? We want to thank you for the tremendous work that you do. That's just awesome. We give gratitude especially to people. We really have gratitude today to have you on the show.
Well, it's a blessing to be with you guys. I am very grateful.
Awesome. All right. So I will start out specifically enough. How did this all come to pass? You being involved in Mothers in Crisis and stuff. How did that start?
Well, Mothers in Crisis, we're celebrating 30 years this year. And it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization that I founded to help women just like myself. And that was women who are in recovery from drugs and alcohol addiction. I had 4 years clean at the time, and it was during the crack cocaine epidemic. And it was really at a time where so many families were in crises because of this. And I felt as a social worker, as I was working in the field, that there was more that I could do. There was more that I could give. So I started Mothers in Crisis. And like I said, that was 30 years ago. And since then, we've helped over 10,000 families and counting break free from drugs and alcohol addiction, as well as many other things. And now we have this whole Hope campaign with the April National Month of Hope and this Hope Initiative.
I absolutely love that you're helping mothers in crisis, because having the weight of the world on ourselves and putting ourselves last, it seems like it's so easy for us to be in a state of crisis and not even acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And especially now, because it may have started with the addiction, but over the years, we have expanded and realized that really everybody needs hope. As a matter of fact, according to the survival laws of 3 that's often quoted, you can only live 3 seconds without hope.
Right.
So I just really believe that with all the things that we've been going through, different populations of people need hope desperately. So that's why we're excited about this Hope campaign.
So tell us more, Dr. Rosalind, what is a hopeologist?
Well, hopeologist, that is my moniker. And actually, it is our trademark. I have a trademark with the U.S. Patent and Custom Office of the United States. And it is category 35. And it is the promoting hope through public advocacy. So it's really all about all the things that we do to promote hope. And with one of the main things being April is National Month of Hope. That's what we do. I'm an advocate for hope.
And so
How did you
go
ahead?
No, I was going to say,
how did you get hope as the month of April? How did that happen?
Well, my organization, Mothers in Crisis, in 2017, we applied with the National Day Calendar. And we applied. I was surprised that there was no month for hope And so we applied and we were successful. So that was back in 2018. Well, 2018 was the first year we celebrated. So this is actually our 4th year of celebrating April as a National Month of Hope. And also we've gone international this year because we have Pakistan on board, and they've been celebrating this year and kicked it off in Pakistan as well as Nepal, some of the other countries that we're affiliated with. So it's already kind of gone over the wall and over the borders.
So what I want to know is, what's a Hope Connection? So how can somebody get involved, and how can they become a Hope Connection?
Well, Hope Connection is it's one of the strategies that I really believe is needed now and very life changing. Well, first of all, let me just step back. The first thing that what we're promoting through this whole Hope campaign is for individuals themselves to become more hopeful, because you can't give what you don't have. So we have these strategies that you can learn how to think hope, how you can train your brain to become more hopeful, how you can have hope breaks. And then once you get this hope thing flowing really good, then you can make a hope connection. You make a hope connection with someone by having a hope chat. And then once you have a hope chat with them, you can create a hope fusion, and then hopefully create a whole hope sphere within groups, within communities, and we believe within nations, where we can all just become more hopeful. Because really, this is not a Pollyanny kind of thing. You know, I wish I might, wish upon a star tonight. It's not about an emotion, but it is about a significant expectation that things will get better, that no matter what you're going through, you can make it through it. And I believe it's so important, especially with the suicide rate continuing to increase over these past couple of decades now, for the first time, where people, they get to the point, especially young people between the ages of 18 and 34, hadn't even really lived. And they get to the point that, I might as well give up, and they take this permanent solution to a temporary problem. And I believe that if we can have hope, which is future oriented, and if we can begin to spread this hope by making hope connections, at least we can say, especially we've had to have hope over 2020, that with the coronavirus pandemic, we've had to have hope and believe that we're going to make it through this. We're going to get on the other side of it. And we are,
How are people that you've been helping dealing with the pandemic? What challenges they've gone through, which we've all gone through throughout the world, but especially with the population you work with to help?
Well, one of the biggest challenge right now with the pandemic is vaccinations and helping people to see that as a viable solution. As one of the solutions to helping to get back to this place that we call, the new normal now. I believe that it's been challenging just with the isolation that many people have had to go through, with the quarantining, with many that were sick. Because they got COVID themselves, or they lost loved ones, or had loved ones that were sick. So in so many different instances where people wanted to just give up, teachers afraid, and my daughter is a teacher. So that was a big issue when having to go back into the classroom. So I really believe, and what I've been able to see is that when people just hold on to that rope of hope and say, we're going to make it through it. It's going to be all right. And here is why, because this hope, our acronym for HOPE, stands for Helping Others Practice Empowerment. So it's about action. It's not just about, sitting back and hoping, but it's about hoping in a way that, because the light is turned on, I can think of solutions. Because when I'm hopeless, all I see is darkness. And it's like, I can't see my way. Well, it's never going to change. Nothing's ever going to be right again, But whenever you have hope, you begin to say, well, maybe I should try this, or maybe I could do that. Or, it just helps to to get your brain engaged and looking for different ways to cope and to make it through. So that's what I've been seeing. I've been seeing those who have grabbed hold of hope really thrive during this time, even in the midst of the pandemic.
What are some of the mechanisms that you're using to extrapolate hope in other people's lives and exercises for them to do?
Well, I'm glad you asked. One of the main things that we're promoting, as I have my ring on, this is a reminder to take a hope break. And a hope break is a break in your day where you have to intentionally schedule a time to just get by yourself for maybe like 5 minutes. And then once you get alone, then just to begin to breathe, just to take 5 to 10 deep breaths. And then begin to think about the best case scenario, because often we think about the worst case scenario, but begin to think about, you know, situations, say, I've been trying to get a job and I've been going everywhere and nobody's hiring. And, you know, your mind starts thinking, no, I'll never get a job. It'll never happen. But during your hope break, you think about it and you say, you know what, I'm going to make it. I'm going to get hired. This is going to work out. So you think about the best case scenario, and then you make an affirmation where you speak that. You speak that out over your life. You speak it so your ears can hear, and then you repeat it as often as needed. And I'm telling you, we first instituted these hope breaks back in 2018, and it really, really makes a difference, because after a while, you just start thinking more in that way. I always tell people, it's not the first thought, it's the second thought.
And I love that, because that's a lot of what, you know, I work with women and about their self-care journey. And I think it's really powerful, because one of the things I talk about is taking a pebble and moving from one side of your, you know, pocket to the other side and learning to say no. So stopping and taking that moment of breath is huge. It's really, really important, because men and women don't do that. I mean, I'm sure you're seeing too. I know, you know, you talk about the mothers in crisis, but I'm starting to see as well, we have a lot of men that are starting, you know, like you're talking about suicide rates. And I'm a mom of 2 young men, and my son, you know, has lost a couple of young friends, like you said, to taking a permanent to something that's temporary, right? And so are you starting to see any of those two come together, and are you expanding? And, you know, as you're starting to see that happen, have you thought about the male side of the hope as well?
Oh, yes, it's definitely, it's for everyone. So we are, you know, we started out and we still have the name Mothers in Crisis, but we're, you know, it's for everyone. And this hope that we're talking about is non-sectarian. So it's, you know, it's actually unifying. And when you were talking, I thought about this strategy that we've been implementing this past campaign, is the Balls for Hope strategy, where we're giving people these stress balls for hope. Because one of the things that what they're finding is that during the pandemic, people have begun, and this is everyone, to have stress and then not even realize it. And they're starting to grind their teeth. So I don't know if you've heard that, but they go to the to the dentist, and find out their teeth is uneven because they've been grinding it, didn't even know that they were grinding it. And so with these stress balls of hope, we've been giving them out to frontline workers. We've been giving them to different schools and just anyone that may need hope. And also with that, some help as well, just distributing food and things like that. And it's making a difference. And we say, whenever you're feeling stressed, you know, just every day, take this stress ball, squeeze this ball, and know that there's hope. This is a way to first of all, get your endorphins going in your brain. Who doesn't like a ball? You know?
Right, exactly.
and it's just as a way to relieve some tension. So we've been looking at all types of ways to help everyone to become more hopeful. So it's not just for the mothers.
Now, Dr. Rosalind, when you talk about, you know, specifically enough, the pandemic, the stresses that we're going through and all these different things, what do you think ultimately why should we have hope? What is your ultimate message for our listeners today?
I believe that we should have hope because we're a strong nation. And we've been through things before, maybe not this, but we're going to get through this. And that's what hope says. Hope says it's going to be all right. My latest book, As Long as There's Breath in Your Body, There's Still Hope. As it says in Latin, the Latin is dum spiro sparrow. While I breathe, I hope. So that's what I would say. Just keep breathing and just keep doing the things that you must do to make it through it. And we're going to be okay. Don't give up.
Definitely.
I absolutely love your light. Thank you so much. And do you have, because you are such a gratitude mother, do you have a gratitude moment that you could share with us that brought about you helping and doing all of this wonderful things that you're doing?
Yes, I can share it, and I talk about it. One of the things that I talk about in my book, As Long as There's Breath in Your Body, There's Still Hope. And this was years ago, when I first started Mothers in Crisis, and I was working with the women, and it just seemed like that they weren't changing, things weren't getting any better. Mm-hmm. And I was a single parent at the time, and my daughter, she was a baby. And I remember one day I came home from just doing a group and working with the women, and I was just in tears. And I was just saying, Lord, I can't keep this. I can't keep doing this. This isn't working. And then I just heard inside, Rosalind, remember, as long as there's breath in their bodies, there is hope. And I remember how that was just like a lifeline that was given to me at that time. And it became my mantra. I immediately trademarked it way back then. I've written, this is my second book, and I've added the word "still" in it. But I have such gratitude for receiving that and being able to share that with so many others over the years who have grabbed hold of it. And I see people, people, all walks of life, different ones that have heard me, and they know that saying of mine, and they tell me how they've said it. They've been going through something, and then they thought about it. As long as there's breath in my body, there is hope. So, that's a gratitude moment for me. Still.
I would say every day is like a moment of gratitude for you. It's a day of gratitude and bringing that around.
It is.
Because we need hope, honey. We need hope. We need for everyone to have it and to have those moments where you can shift your mind a little bit away from the negative. It's the hardest thing. The easiest thing is to go with your heart. The hardest thing is to go against your mind. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's why we spend a lot of time, with what we say, think hope, train your brain, do things that intentionally will bring you more hope and get you to that place where you don't just, because listen, we could look at all the television and we could look at things all around and everything that's happening, and you just don't even want to get up out of bed. So you have to intentionally begin to focus on the gratitude moments and those things that are real and those things that you do have, because I believe they go hand in hand. You cannot be hopeful without having gratitude.
Pearl, anything else to add before Jen sends us off?
Well, if you'd like to find out more information, go to makeahopeconnection.com.
I will be going there, that's for sure, because I just love your energy. I love your message. And like you said, we need more hope in the world. And I'm always a glass half full girl, so I'm always hopeful too. So I love your message, Dr. Rosalind. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, Jen, you can send her off.
Oh my goodness. I am so happy that we have had such a beautiful time today with Dr. Rosalind Tompkins and all of you listening with us on the Gratitude Radio Network, and hope that you have gratitude everywhere that you go. Remember, you are blessed, you are loved, and you are sacred. Have hope today, and go to makeahopeconnection.com. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Pearl.
All right. Okay. Awesome. Thanks again. Okay, guys, that was again Gratitude Radio Network's Your Beautiful Day. Take care.